Welcome, everyone. You're watching VL Extras, where we break down the hottest stories in tech with a visual flair. What a star-studded week it's been. I releases left and right, and we're wrapping it up with a bang from Anthropic. Their new coding king, Claude 3.7 Sonnet, just hit the scene, and developers worldwide are buzzing with excitement. Dubbed their most intelligent model yet, and the first hybrid reasoning AI, this bad boy's state-of-the-art for coding, and so much more. Let's dive into why Claude's back, and better than ever. This week's been a whirlwind Grok 3, GPT 4.5, but Anthropic's stealing the spotlight with Claude 3.7 Sonnet, launched February 24, 2025. Building on Claude 3.5 Sonnet's brilliance, think top-tier coding and computer use in Beta 3.7 takes it to the next level. It's not just smarter, it's the first hybrid reasoning model, blending instant answers with step-by-step thinking you can actually see. Developers are raving it's a coding beast, but it's also flexing muscles in content generation, data analysis, and planning. Let's unpack this. So, what makes Claude 3.7 Sonnet the coding AI king? For starters, it's got nuance down pat, understands tricky instructions, spots and fixes its own mistakes, and churns out sophisticated insights from messy data. Compared to 3.5 Sonnet, which already crushed it in real-world software engineering and agentic tasks, 3.7's a leap forward. It's state-of-the-art for coding, think planning a project, squashing bugs, or refactoring massive code bases. Early tests show it's acing benchmarks like SWE Bench verified, leaving rivals in the dust. And it's not just code, it's killer at writing, data crunching, and even chatbot vibes with a warm, human-like tone.
Anthropic just released Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is the very first hybrid AI model. What does hybrid even mean? Put very simply, this one AI model can now do two things. Number one, give you very quick answers that don't require a lot of thinking, like why is the sky blue? The second thing it can do is think really, really hard by breaking down problems into step-by-step, spending a buttload of time reasoning and thinking before it actually gives you the answer. For example, create a full-on report about AI and the impact on jobs in 2025 across these 10 sectors. Now, the last one is what we call the reasoning models, which is all the ones that you've seen recently in the last couple of weeks, like O3 Mini from ChatGPT, R1 from DeepSeek, Gemini Flash, Thinking, and Grok 3. They are all doing deep thinking, which requires a lot of time and a lot of compute power. But the problem is, from a user perspective, we have to think about which model is best used for what question. Like in ChatGPT, we have all these models, the same with Gemini. Whereas with Claude 3 Sonnet, it gives you these two options inside that one model. And eventually they want to get to the point where the AI model can think for itself how long it should be taking to answer the question. The plus side for API users is that they can control the budget on how long they should take to answer a question, which can save on cost and time and compute power. All users now have access to Claude 3.7 Sonnet, but the free users don't get the reasoning version. Another thing Anthropic has been known for is being the safe model, where it refuses to answer dangerous questions, but now it's taken out a lot of that guardrail. So it's reduced this number by 45%, where it will answer more of your questions. This is a fun use case I'll be using for my kids, which is create a Monopoly game for kids that teach them about property investing and compound interest. Claude ran into a couple of errors, but it managed to fix itself and produce this, but kids version. So think toy store, game shop, ice cream parlor, and you get to roll the dice. And it gives you tips. Last but not least, Claude Code, where software tools like Cursor have said that Claude is world-class for coding, where it smashes OpenAI and DeepSeek, and again, for agentic tool use. Share in the comments what you've been using Claude for.
Here's the cool part. Claude 3.7 Sonnet's hybrid magic. Need a quick fix? It fires off near instant replies. Tackling a beastly problem? Switch to extended thinking mode. It breaks it down step by step, showing its work like a digital tutor. PA users get fine-tuned control, set how long it thinks, up to 128K output tokens in beta. That's 15x longer than before, perfect for spitting out rich code or detailed plans. Anthropic's betting big on this flexibility, and devs are eating it up. How do you get your hands on this? For coders building custom solutions, Claude 3.7 Sonnet's live on the Anthropic API, Amazon Bedrock, and Google Cloud's Vertex AI. For the rest of us, business folks, creators, or just AI fans, it's on Claude.ai across web, iOS, and Android. Chat Pro vibes, but with a twist. Pricing starts at $3 per million input tokens and $15 per million output tokens. Slash costs up to 90% with prompt caching or 50% with batch processing. Check their pricing page for the deets. Oh, and Chats Pro users, you're not left out. Anthropic's rolling this out wide. Let's talk use cases. For developers, it's a dream, handles the full software lifecycle, from sketching ideas to maintenance. Companies like Cursor say it's best in class for real-world coding. Think full stack updates in one go. Beyond code, it's a content wizard, writes compelling stuff with nuance and tone, and a data ninja, analyzing charts or complex datasets. How does it stack up? Claude 3.5 Sonnet was already a coding champ, but 3.7's hybrid reasoning and longer outputs up to 128K tokens give it an edge. OpenAI's GPT 4.5? Big but not frontier level. Grok 3's free-for-all is fierce, but Claude's precision shines for devs.
Should we be doing like big smile or?
No, what are you big smile's
Okay.
creepy.
That's sort of what I think. I'm Boris. I'm an engineer.
I'm Kat. I'm a product manager.
We love seeing what people build with Claude, especially with coding, and we want to make Claude better at coding for everyone. We built some tools, one of which we're sharing today. We're launching Claude Code as a research preview. Claude Code is an agentic coding tool that lets you work with Claude directly in your terminal. We're going to show you an example of it in action.
So we have a project here. It's a Next.js app. Let's open it up in an instance of Claude Code. Now that we've done this, Claude Code has access to all of the files in this repository. We don't know much about this codebase. It looks like an app for chatting with a customer support agent. Let's get Claude to help explain this codebase to us. Claude starts by reading the higher level files, and then it dives in deeper. Now it's going through all the components in the project. Cool. Here's its final analysis.
So say I was asked to replace this left sidebar with a chat history, and I'm also going to add a new chat button. I'm going to ask Claude to help me out here. We haven't specified any files or paths, and Claude's already finding the right files to update by itself. Claude can also show its thinking, and we can see how it's decided to tackle this problem. Claude's asking me if I want to accept these changes. I'll say yeah. Now Claude's updating the navbar, adding a button and icons as well. Next, it's updating the logic to ensure the saving state works correctly. After a bit, Claude completes the task. Here's a summary of what it's done. Let's take a look at the app. So we're seeing a new chat button and new chat history section on the left. Let's check if I can start a new chat while keeping the previous one saved. I'll try out the new chat button too. Great, it's all working.
Now let's ask Claude to add some tests to make sure that the features we just added work. Claude's asking for permission to run commands. We'll say yes. Claude is making some changes to run these tests. After getting the results, it continues with its plan until all tests pass. After a few minutes, it looks like we're good to go. Now I'm going to ask Claude to compile the app and see if we get any build errors. Let's see what it finds. Claude identified the build errors and is now fixing them. Then it tries to build again. It'll keep going until it works.
Now let's finish everything up by asking Claude to commit its changes and push them to GitHub. Claude creates a summary and a description of our changes. And it'll push the changes to GitHub. That's it. That's an example of what Claude Code can do. We can't wait for people to start building with it.
AI just learned to play Pokemon without being trained for it. For the past year, a small team at Anthropic has been obsessed with a weird question. Can their AI assistant, Claude, play Pokemon? And not by training it specifically on gaming, just by letting it figure things out with its general intelligence. Now, early experiments were straight up embarrassing. Claude 3.5 Sonnet would panic during mandatory battles, wander aimlessly, and once even got so stuck in a corner that it formally requested a game reset. But then something changed with Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Within hours, it defeated Brock. Days later, it crushed Misty, and the secret was extended thinking. Unlike previous models that acted on impulse, Claude 3.7 actually plans ahead. It carefully analyzes the game state, considers possible moves, and makes strategic decisions before acting. This is even more shocking, considering that most gaming AIs need millions of specialized training iterations. AlphaGo mastered Go by playing itself countless times, but Claude just figured it out using general intelligence. The setup is surprisingly basic. Vision to see the screen, memory to store notes, and function calls to press buttons. With just these tools, Claude navigates the game world, strategizes battles, and makes meaningful progress. What's fascinating is that while doing all this sophisticated problem solving, the AI also developed a surprising amount of personality, like naming its Squirtle Tsunami. Now, this isn't just about games. If AI can master complex challenges through pure reasoning without specific training, imagine what it could do for medicine, science, or engineering, tackling problems it's never seen before.
Claude 3.7 Sonnet, the coding AI king, back and better than ever. Is this the tool to rule them all, or just another crown contender? You tell us. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you're Team Claude, and subscribe for more VL Extra.